What's up, good people? I know that some of the information I provide is disheartening to some, and we'll talk about that at another time. But I want to not necessarily respond, but I've been watching a lot of videos in regards to this traffic stop in Florida with Jacksonville Sheriff's Office, and I want people to understand why I say what I say. And this is not an opinion, this is the law, how it's interpreted for the most part in most states.
Sir, yes, sir. Bullshit, I can't hear you. Because I am hard, you will not like me. But the more you hate me, the more you will learn. I am hard, but I am fair. There is no racial bigotry here. Here you are all equally worthless. And my orders are to weed out all non-hackers who do not pack the gear to serve in my beloved corps. Do you maggots understand that?
Sir, yes, sir.
Bullshit, I can't hear you.
Sir, yes, sir.
I'm not a family attorney, because I hear some family attorneys giving advice. Here's some political people giving advice on what they feel. I've heard some people who have taken a few criminal justice classes, may have a criminal justice degree, but have never done a job. And they are referring to what's called an evidentiary rule in most cases. That's fruits of a poisonous tree. And they believe that if the first part of traffic stop is wrong, then the rest of it's wrong. It's not always true. It's a very thorny position. I'm going to show you why. And I did something that was very modern, if you will. I went to AI to see what AI said. And I know AI and chat GPT is all programmed information, but it's a lot of times it's legit. So I'm going to show y'all, if you will, what I'm talking about here. And we're going to talk about the traffic stop if it's invalid. An invalid traffic stop. And this is what chat GPT said. Okay. And my question was, if a traffic stop is invalid and a person resists arrest, I left it at that. And it says that's a thorny legal situation, and it depends heavily on the jurisdiction and the specific circumstances. But here's a general breakdown. If a traffic stop is invalid, an invalid traffic stop typically means the officer lacked reasonable suspicion or probable cause. Any evidence obtained during that traffic stop may be suppressed under the fruit of the poisonous tree doctrine. We call it evidentiary rule, same thing. However, courts may still uphold arrest of probable cause exists for any crime, even if unrelated to the original reason for the stop. Resisting arrest even during an invalid traffic stop. In Texas, I'm talking to Texas people first. For example, resisting arrest is a Class A misdemeanor, and it is not a defense that the arrest was unlawful. I'll read it one more time. In Texas, for example, resisting arrest is a Class A misdemeanor. It is not a defense that arrest was invalid or unlawful. Hear that? That means even if the stop is invalid, physically resisting can still lead to criminal charges. Let's see, I just flipped that evidentiary rule around. When you resist, you just flipped it around. Now they got probable cause. See? The law assumes that disputes over legality should be handled in court, not on the roadside. Now again, there's Copilot, GPT, Chat GPT, all of them say the same thing. I've tried all of them. They all say the same thing. The law assumes that disputes over legality should be handled in court, not on the roadside. Possible defenses. Now, I'm being straightforward here. I'm going to read exactly what it says. Self-defense may apply if the officer uses excessive force and the person reasonably believes force is needed to protect themselves. See that? But look at the bottom. But this is a narrow exception and hard to prove. See that? Again, people usually respond to what they like to hear, but I want them to understand this bottom part here. But it is a narrow exception and hard to prove. Very hard. So it says what to do instead. Stay calm and comply. First thing. Second thing, document everything. Badge number, time, location. Third thing, contact the lawyer to challenge the stop and the arrest in court. If one of these frustrating legal paradoxes you might be right about, the stop being unlawful, but resisting in the moment can still land you in trouble. Want to dig into a whole different state, into how different states handle this, or look at some of the real case examples? And there's so many of it. Now let's just check it out in Florida. Invalid, and that was for Texas. Traffic stop in Florida. Okay, in Florida, even if the traffic stop is later deemed invalid, resisting arrest during the stop can still lead to criminal charges, and that's where things get legally tangled. Florida law on resisting arrest under Florida statute. I was about to say penal code, but that's Texas. Under Florida statute 943.22, resisting an officer without violence is a misdemeanor, and resisting with violence is a felony. Crucially, the legality of the arrest is not a defense to resisting. Courts generally expect disputes over unlawful stops to be handled after the fact, not in the moment. So asking for a supervisor, screaming and yelling, closing the door, not keeping your hands visible, it opens a wide range of things the police can do after that. They have a wide discretion of action. And I want people to understand this part too. I'm not here taking up for the police. I'm telling you what the facts are and what the rules are. Fighting, resisting, removes the taint, even if the officer's traffic stop is invalid. And you'll see some defense attorneys say something very different. Now, the real wise ones that are good at what they do don't get on the internet and talk about it. I lived it. I was on the witness stand for several hours, several different times. For several hours. I mean, 7-8 hours, 4-hour increments. I've done it. So I know what they look for. I know what, I had to defend myself, had to defend other people. It's, just in action with hands, not as a lawyer, but as with hands. So I have the real world experience. Again, you'll see some people on here that may have some criminal justice degrees, maybe a family attorney. They understand the rules of evidence for the most part, but you need to talk to prosecutors, defense attorneys, those kind of people are the people you got to listen to when it comes to this, because these are things that they don't know. A lot of people are talking about the rain droplets and all this other stuff. There's even an officer on here that talks, and he wasn't an officer that long, but he's a good guy. He's got a lot of followers. Even he missed a few things, which we all do. Nobody's perfect. But I'm telling you this, he missed a few things because talking about the water droplets, it's irrelevant. Because once you resist arrest and they say you're under arrest, the rest of it doesn't matter. The rest of it doesn't matter. And that's the point I was trying to make. And I put myself in that position, and I was somewhat animated to show you how these police talk when it goes on, right? Police are trained to win fights, not to avoid them. That's the big difference in the two. Like it or not, that's a big difference in the two. Now, how do we deal with that, right? Now, I'll do another video later talking about political capital. Political capital is what we have to understand and how to build as a community. We don't have it. We only talk about it when it's all over and when we're upset about something and when we don't know the rules. And we go off of feelings and what we believe and what we think. And we're listening to the wrong people. I'm not telling you I know everything. But when it comes to police action, how they operate, what they do, I know that shit very well. Very well. Very well. Lived it, done it, used everything. Every piece of equipment I had, I've used it. I've used it. And I'm still here. So yeah. The resisting arrest is irrelevant to the traffic stop. Yep. The resisting arrest is irrelevant to the traffic stop. So all the people think, oh, that was wrong, excessive force. Well, you might think that. I'm going to tell you how that, when people say, if it's excessive, you have a right to defend yourself, it's a narrow thing to prove. There's something in their car he was protecting. We don't know. But they do know after the fact they found a long knife in there. If that officer had seen that knife and it was visible before, we may not be talking to William McNeil Jr. today. They don't want to hear it, but I promise you, he was playing with fire. And not much is going to happen to those officers because he didn't comply. I'm just telling you. If you find yourself in a situation, don't be sassy.
What? What?
Understand that a male's presence is a threat by itself. It is. When you see a young man, I'll give you an example. Traffic stops. There's an NFL player that got pulled over in Florida. And I'm going to give you an example. This deputy heard this car. He's driving McLaren. People probably heard the stories back in October 2024. The same NFL player is speeding, going very, very fast. But the thing about it, the officer didn't know his speed. But based on the experience, he knows he's going fast. It's a McLaren, high-powered car going fast. He didn't have his speed. The body cam beforehand has this officer on a motorcycle in Florida. So the officer doesn't have a radar gun on the car. I'm looking at on his dashboard, nowhere on it. I know what they look like. I don't see it. I don't see a stalker. I don't see it's called stalker radar. I don't see a radar gun. I see none of that. I just see him jump on his bike, start up, take off. That tells me the officer didn't know how fast this NFL guy was going. He didn't know. He just know he's speeding, looking for a reason to pull him over. So he pulled him over. He didn't say, hey, you pulled over for 60 and a 70. He didn't say you pulled over for 150. He never said that. You know why? Because he didn't know how fast he was going. So the first thing the NFL guy does is open the door. Open the door, look back at him. You know what the officer says? Why you not wearing your seatbelt? He's looking for something else because he don't know how fast he's going. That's a fact. He don't know how fast he's going. So, traffic stop valid or invalid? We really don't know. They don't know. But this is where it goes crazy. Now you got a sassy NFL guy running his mouth. Then they yank him out the car. Like it or not, he created that world for himself. And you can see right here, even if the traffic stop is invalid, resisting arrest leads to other charges, which now gives him probable cause to find everything else. So the evidentiary rule, fruits of the poisonous tree, is irrelevant. The rules in a car are different than they are in a house. Very different. And having a driver's license and riding on a public roadway is a privilege, not a right. That privilege can be revoked or suspended at any time. Sounds crazy, right? I'm talking to the public and my audience in a way that the attorneys will talk to you. It doesn't sound sweet because they don't give a damn how you feel. What your feelings have is no place in the law, and that's how they operate, right? Now, I will tell you this. There are times the law is applied in different ways. Now, you take that same NFL guy I'm telling you about, they was running his mouth, got pulled out the car, stuff went bad. He said calls for some help. He got some help. Now, the stakeholders in that community are the ones that came and got him out. It wasn't because he's special. It's because they had a game to play, and the stakeholders in the NFL spent a lot of money in the city and the county and all that kind of stuff. So that person makes a phone call to the big boss. Big boss makes a phone call. You got a captain, lieutenant, sergeant, everybody out there. Now they put this officer on administrative duties, not administrative leave. And everybody hears the word administrative and it sounds like they did something, but this officer, it was just administrative duties, it wasn't administrative leave. And that same officer, that same NFL guy, later on in the season when he found out they weren't going to the playoffs. Now bear in mind, when he got pulled over, all his friends pulled over to help him. Oh yeah, I know we got a good team this year, blah, blah. It was early in the season. They looking out for him. Now, in a playoff game, when things didn't go his way, he stopped playing in the fourth quarter, sat down. This year, the quarterback had to talk to the same NFL guy because he didn't show loyalty to them. This is what I mean by sassy. When I say sassy, I'm not talking about gay, not sexuality. I mean sassy, like emotional, gotta get the last word, gotta be right. Ain't nobody tell you what to do, want a buck authority. 10 baby mamas, just stuff like that, letting you know that you don't give a damn. You just do what you want to do, right? That's what I mean by sassy. You know the first person he asked for when that traffic stop was over? Where's my mama? Think about it now. The same guy, William McNeil Jr. Even though he got a stepfather, you look at when they were talking in that church, and they were standing up talking at church, his mama hugging him and babying him. He's 22. Just taking note, observation. Now, fast forward. Just this year, NFL guy, much younger, got a strong father in his life. Nobody's perfect, so I'm not digging anybody's parenting skills. I'm just giving you how over-nurturing can turn a kid into a mess. Now, this particular young guy got pulled over doing 101 in a 60. 41 miles over the speed limit. Most states, 25 miles over the speed limit means you are driving recklessly, which means you can go to jail. Let me show you the difference. His girlfriend behind him doing 92. He was cool. He didn't throw his name out there. He didn't trip out. He knows he can go to jail. He got a ticket. The officer or deputy said he was cool. Didn't give the girl a ticket. She doing 92. Speed limit 60 now. He doing 101 in a 60. Girlfriend doing 92. He acted like a man, acted responsibly, didn't argue, didn't go back and forth, didn't close the door, say, do what you got to do. Wasn't saying, what's your probable cause? Nothing. Got a ticket and moved on. Now, later on, I do a video about political power, political capital, and how to build it. And that'll be a whole separate segment. But this will lead into that. But I wanted people to see all these family attorneys and some of these attorneys that's online, respect for their business, nothing against it. And all the people who got master's degrees in criminal justice. I've been a master police since 2006. Master police officer since 2006. Lived it, done it. And I've used everything, every piece of equipment I've ever been issued. I've used it all. Legally. Used it all. Use it all. So I can tell you how these things go and what they're looking for. Knowledge is key. Knowing that resisting arrest, once you're non-compliant in Florida or in Texas, I'm in Texas, so I talk to my Texas people first. But in this particular case, William McNeil Jr., you can see right here, that talks about him here. In February 2025, William McNeil Jr. was pulled over in Jacksonville, Florida for not having headlights on during inclement weather. He refused to exit the vehicle, asked for a supervisor, and locked the doors. Officers broke his window, punched him, and pulled him out. McNeil was charged with resisting arrest without violence, among other offenses, and later pled guilty. The state's attorney's office found no criminal wrongdoing by the officers through the administrative review, and administrative review is ongoing. That's just to see if they violate any policies. Not much is going to happen. So, in closing, I'd like to say this. You can remove the taint of the officer by resisting arrest. The evidentiary rule is not applicable in these situations. The fruit of the poisonous tree is not applicable. So for all the people who got criminal justice degrees that read a few things, think they know, took a few tests, I lived it, done it, been questioned, been drilled on it, and I'm telling you from experience, do not argue on the roadside. Don't think that you have the right to call a supervisor to delay the process. It's not a grocery store. It's not a restaurant. Sounds rough, but it's a fact. There's a way to handle it, and that's through political capital. Political capital was displayed when an NFL guy in Florida got pulled over, and he called a guy by the name of Drew. Drew had political capital, got everything squared away. Because in the end, the bosses that matter, the big bosses that matter, they don't give a damn about the football player. They don't give a damn about the deputy, the sheriff. They don't give a damn about none of them. They replace any one of them. But us as a public can't focus on the officer that's doing his job. Understand you're dealing with the government, not just him. And what he has behind him is a government. So the uniform doesn't make him tough. It's the executive branch of government that's behind him that makes him tough. And there's a process to follow. Rebellious people will always buck it. And rebellious people will always be repeat customers. Because they don't know how to handle it. They don't. So I hope that was helpful. Y'all take care. And nothing against the family attorneys giving advice and talking about rain droplets, and even the other officers got a lot of followers talking about rain droplets. I'm telling you, that is irrelevant when it comes to resisting arrest. And that's what I want to address. The reason why, possibly why he got punched. Don't resist. Look at it for yourself. You don't have to be a lawyer to figure that part out. And I, a person who did it and lived it, been on both sides of it. I've been pulled over as a police officer with some crazy shit. Young rookies acting over the top, don't know what to do. And I'm just looking at them, right? I've seen it. More than once has happened.